we are live.
Here we are.
We are here. There's the yawn.
There's the yawn. We must
New
be
year,
really live.
New you.
Same old me.
I love it.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Talkin' Toast 2025 edition. Katie and John's version. No, just kidding. That's Taylor Swift.
I call it the Taylor Swift joke.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
We are coming at you tonight from snowy Catonsville. And we officially don't start until 8:28, so you have 2 minutes to grab a drink, grab a friend, and grab your friend a drink. But don't grab your friend's drink. All the things, right?
Sure. Sounds good. I feel like we need a new something this year. Like, I don't know what we need to... We need a new phrase. We need to think about this. I still do We Are Live, so maybe maybe we need to change it all up. Maybe all of it just needs to change.
Or you just don't fix what's not broken.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean...
First TNT of 2025.
Hey, if you...
Are tired?
Enjoy Talking Toast. Share it with your friends. Share it on whatever platform you prefer. And help us get a little wider audience. And the more toasters, the merrier, right?
The more toasters, the merrier. And we would love... Hey, Deanna. So
nice.
it is working. Deanna, I think, is watching from Raleigh, North Carolina tonight.
Raleigh.
That's good. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. She said, you're sounding good. Well.
You sound better than you did about 2 or 3 days ago.
I do. I cried through my sermon
Not
on Sunday.
because of emotions.
No, because I had this like tickle in my throat that made my eyes water the entire way through.
It was great.
We were finishing up our focus on Ruth Bowling's book. Mm-hmm. And now we are on to something new. But it is 8:27. The title tonight
is...
Do you see it?
Rise up this morning, smiled with the rising sun. 3 little birds.
There you go.
By my doorstep. They pitch by your doorstep. I didn't know that was the word.
I didn't know that was pitch either. Yeah.
Singing sweet songs, melodies pure and true.
Singing, this is my message to you. Katie, don't worry. Yep.
About a thing.
I looked up songs about delight.
Oh.
And this is one of the ones
What a
that
joy.
came up. Yeah.
What a joy.
Absolutely. So I thought that fit. And it has a bird in it. And it kind of goes along with the text. They're not 3 little birds, but it's one of the 3.
One little bird.
One little bird of the 3. Anyway, so there's all the connections
There's your
today.
sneak peek.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, good stuff.
It is 8:28, friends. Welcome to Talkin' Toast. Talkin' Toast, the first episode of 2025. We are here live on the YouTube and live on the Facebook.
Internet.
We are
Internet.
The internet.
The online.
On the line.
On the line.
We are on the line.
We're on the line.
We're feeling good and trying to like parse through all the Facebook news today. Like, we're gonna allow bullying and stuff again. Yay! So I don't know what all this is. So we're gonna bring some good stuff to the metaverse.
We're going to flood the metaverse with delight.
There we go. That sounds good to me.
As an effort in resistance, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Grandma, favorite artist and favorite song. All right. That's good. Maybe your grandmother's favorite song. It's good stuff. Well, we start off... every talking toast with Katie yawning, and then
It's past my bedtime.
yeah,
I did not have an afternoon
not past
coffee.
your bedtime.
I didn't have an afternoon coffee or a nap today, and I went sledding this afternoon after work, and so all the things together are causing me to be sleepy.
Yeah, makes sense. There's something about this kind of weather that makes me feel sleepy.
All the time.
You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
like, it's a lot of sun, and it's bright, and that combined, I don't know. There's something
Combined
about it.
with like the extra effort you have to put into getting up the hill
Yeah,
and
there you go.
the extra muscles to balance so you don't fall on your butt.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Well, we start off every talking toast by asking, what is sustaining you? What is getting you by? What is that 808 beat? What is the undercurrent? What's pulling you along? As Barbara Brown Taylor would say, what is saving your life right now? Katie, what is saving your life right now? What is sustaining you?
I think it is both sustaining me and draining me, which is a thing. Like the thing that sustains you can also be the thing that is wearing you out.
Yes.
But that would be sledding. I love to go sledding. Love it. And it's just been so fun these last few days to get to go sledding a little bit. It always makes me think about, you remember when we first got back from our honeymoon and there was this wild snowstorm that happened where we were living and we had gotten, several inches, almost a foot of snow. Do you remember this?
I do.
And we didn't have a sled.
Yep.
So what did we do?
We went to the hardware store.
We went to the hardware store, and the guy, we asked the guy at the hardware store, we were like, do you have any sleds? He said, no, I've got something better. And he had this like twinkle in his eye that made you just believe everything he said. And so he took us back to the shower liner section, and he cut us this huge piece of shower liner.
Yep.
That we were to use as if it were maybe like a magic carpet or something like that underneath us. And he was like, look, you lay down on it, you lay down on top of it, on top of him, and then y'all will fly down. And so that's what we did. But, and like, it's amazing you didn't break a rib or something.
Oh, I probably did.
Yes. But we flew. But now I learned that is like one of the most controllable ways of sledding on your stomach with somebody stacked on top of you.
Yeah.
And so I ended up being on the bottom and steering the sled for all kinds of Sophie and her friends who were stacked on top of me.
That's
we were
funny.
flying down the hill today, and it was just so lovely.
We say hill, and I'm going to say, whenever you ask me what is sustaining me, I'm going to say this as well. Let's see if this is, oh, wait a minute. Let's see if this will, oh, it's a huge picture. Hang
Way
on
too
one
big.
second. 1 second. Is this live?
This is live. Yeah, you see it going through.
I should have pulled this up way ahead of
Good
time.
picture of the dead tree.
There we go. So this is our church.
Our neighborhood hill.
And our neighborhood hill. And so you see all the people lined up. This is one of the best places to sled in our area. And so all these different people are lined up here. This was just in the middle of the day today.
Yeah.
And this hill is pretty epic. Like it does well. And so I saw for the first time today, a kid had kind of like a tricycle.
Oh, I saw that yesterday.
He could steer.
Yeah,
down
it
the
was
thing.
so cool.
That
It was
was
like
the
a
coolest.
tricycle combined
Yes.
with a snowmobile.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was the coolest.
So cool. Yeah, there have been some cool sleds out there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's been
Absolutely.
awesome. So, what's sustaining you?
Well, first I want to say, Deanna said, what is making me smile is my Christmas tree up way longer than usual. There you go. Stay strong. And having a few crock-pot cook-offs in a few weeks. That's a lot of fun, too.
I want to say something about that because somebody was throwing shade today about people keeping their Christmas trees up for too long. Today is January the 7th.
Yeah.
Epiphany was yesterday. So yesterday concluded the 12 days of Christmas. However, in many Eastern countries, They celebrate Christmas on Epiphany night.
Yeah.
And what we would traditionally understand as Christmas Day would be January 7th. So don't feel bad about having your Christmas stuff up on January 7th. It can stay up. It can stay up.
Yeah, for at least 12 days after January 6th, right?
I mean, I'm not opposed to keeping it up until Valentine's Day.
I mean, that's the next holiday, right?
It's the next...
You know, if you don't take it down, it's already up for next year.
There
Absolutely. And that was one of my friends posted this thing that said, like, you know, the wise men aren't even there yet. You're fine. Leave it up as long as you need to. And I was like, well, can I leave it up for 2 years until they get there?
We should do it. Let's leave our Christmas tree up this year. I'm here for it. I love it.
Can we decorate it in orange lights or something?
Stop.
Orange and purple.
Oh my god.
We could decorate it for each season.
I believe that you are the one who was on the white light train.
Yeah. Just not all the colors. I'm not a color, like all the colors.
I like color.
You give me orange, though.
Are you a colored lights or a white lights person?
Yeah, there you go.
That's a really good question.
So Chantel is on, what is your favorite Christmas gift or favorite memory from Christmas? I don't know. I need to think about that one for a minute. We went to New York, and that was awesome. Amazing. Yeah. And in the middle of the night, I said, all right. We were all back at our hotel, we were ready to go.
Getting in our pajamas.
Yeah. And I said, I got an idea. You ready for another adventure? And both my girls were like, yep. So
adventure?
Katie and Sophie both said, yep. And so we hiked our behinds down to
it's like a mile down to the...
Yeah. To the
Staten Island Ferry.
And which runs every 30 minutes all night
24
long.
24 hours a day.
And so we did a night ride on the Staten Island Ferry.
It's colder than
and got
blazes.
to take pictures of the city at night and the Statue of Liberty and all that. Cool. It was so cool.
It was so cool.
Your mom says, colors!
Yeah.
And that's good. Yep. So what is sustaining me? I think memories from that trip, and then just looking outside and seeing snow right now.
Yeah.
It's not something that happened very often, you know, where we grew up.
No.
And so
it's been fun to be stuck in the house together too.
It has been. It's been nice. And when you go outside and it's an ordeal. So it's like, whole thing. All right, we're gonna hang out.
Just hang out in the house and
it's been good.
Be stuck together. Good. We had a Harry Potter marathon today.
We did. Yeah. And there's a 2-hour delay tomorrow, so
who knows what's gonna happen.
Yep. Well, good. We hope that you are all doing well, and if you would like to chime in on what is sustaining you, we would love to know. And I did this. If you type it or if you want to thumbs it, let us know in the comments. But a few things big are starting off this year. I'm going to save one for next week, I think.
Yeah.
So we can have the full thing with. But next week also starts something really amazing. And I'm so excited to hear you talk about that and to share this.
I'm so excited about it, y'all. Yeah. So next week we are starting something and I just dropped the link in the chat. We're starting something at Christian Temple, but bigger than Christian Temple. Yeah. So if you're joining us from wherever, please feel free to participate with us because it's going to be wonderful. Mm-hmm. We're starting something that we're calling the Delightful Church Project. And it's loosely based on Ross Gay's work in the Book of Delights and the Book of More Delights.
Which are both just lovely.
They are lovely. I got this one out today because this was my signed copy. Katie, enjoy always. Together, Ross Gay.
Together. Oh, man. That's great. That goes along with our church theme really well.
Right? That was my humble brag. Yeah. But, so if you've spent any time near me, you know my just admiration and love for Ross Gay. He's a poet, an essayist, and just a general wonderful human being. And he wrote this fantastic book, kind of stepping away from poetry for a little while. On his 40th birthday, he had this idea and the challenge of writing with pen and paper an essayette, a small essay on something that delighted him that day. And he did this for an entire year, the entire year of his 40th year. And it turned into this book, which also like turned into its own thing. And so I read Delightful Church. I read the Book of Delights for the first time in 2020. Really in anticipation for my writing program where he was a professor. But as I was reading it, I was just taken aback with this thought of like, this book may not have mentioned anything about spirituality, but it is deeply spiritual. Because to me, the heart of spirituality is about paying attention. And so we have modeled this project, this experiment, a holy experiment, after what Ross Gay did. So a lot of people have said, like, do I have to read the book to participate? No. Because we're not gonna read the book. You can read the book if you want to, because it's just lovely.
It might help in your
It
delights.
might help you.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do is actually practice it. And so we're putting together this experiment where we're going for 8 weeks, going to challenge people to delight with one another. Yep. So in taking track individually of your delights, whether it's by photo, by essay, by, whatever, poem, any number of mediums. We had somebody the last time we did this do it through painting. And so we want you to take some sort of ownership over chronicling your delights and then share them with each other. So we're going to put together a platform for people to share their delights. But it's just going to be a project in grounding us in this practice of paying attention. And you might be wondering, like, why is this important today? Especially given the goings-on of our world. We could use our time to talk about what justice means. We could use our time to do projects in justice and try to make a better world. And this work of noticing our delights is totally in line with that. And really it grounds that work.
Yeah.
Because what this work does is it teaches us to be moved by things in front of us.
Right.
It teaches us to be moved by their beauty, by the things that are different from us, by the people who are different from us, by the things that could be a little frustrating. It teaches us to be moved by them, which teaches us empathy. It teaches us, it gives us eyes to see the world as it could and should be.
There you go.
And which is kind of how we talk about justice.
Yeah. And I think the other part to this is that it moves us away, because we can find all of the, and almost, we're almost trained to find the negative things.
Yep.
Like, you've all been there. Like, you can read 100 emails and then there's that one, and that's the one that like sticks out to you. Or somebody can say certain comments about something you've done, and it's like 40 really great ones, and then one that's just like, what is that? What's behind that? There's something in our brains about that. So whenever we shift it to thinking about delights first and foremost, sometimes that helps the rest of the things. And you're right. It's that noticing. It helps us to notice, but I think it also helps with our mindset. And finding, and one of the things that we talk about over and over again is asset-based ministry. Well, if we're talking about asset-based things, we have to look for the good.
Right.
And so this is one of those helpful pieces that helps with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, when anxiety and regret keep us in the past and the future on a constant loop. Yeah, and so it kind of takes us out of that.
Yeah.
It forces us to be present with ourselves and with what's going on around us. You're exactly right, Chantel.
Yeah.
I was thinking earlier about in the first book of Delights, Ross really kind of defines what delight is and draws a difference between delight and gratitude. Gratitude is a very different, equally important in our lives, but a different way of being, because you bring yourself in gratitude to a place of almost justifying what's happening, right? In delight, though, you just pull out the light. Of the light. So it's really and I don't like light and dark metaphors, but what I kind of enjoy is this idea that delights give us a glimpse into the brightness of the moment. And so our world needs that, right? Like that in itself can be an act of resistance.
Absolutely.
And it can be an act of grounding us for the resistance that is to come. Because there is a lot of work to be done. And there is a lot of uncertainty in our future. But this practice of delight will give us the muscles, per se, to be able to ground ourselves in that resistance and in that work, in that uncertainty that is to come.
That's right. So give us the practical side of that. So you've talked about the overall 30,000 feet, the reason for it, which is wonderful. Tell me the exact time, the exact place, and if I want to participate, what do I do?
All right, so this is where it gets good, y'all. So 7 o'clock every other Monday night. All of the details are in that Facebook event that I just put on the chat.
And it starts January 12th.
It starts next Monday night. So we will actually meet on Zoom every other Monday night. So it's not a weekly event. So it's really just 4 meetings that you're committing to of an hour long.
January 13th.
January 13th. Yep. So it'll be January 13th, January 27th, and then it's like February 10th.
Yep, February
10th and February 24th. So just four Mondays. And the goal is, while the goal is to train us in delighting and to ground our resistance and to combat hate and injustice by noticing the beautiful things and being moved by the beautiful things, while that is our goal, what this will also do is connect us to one another. And I want to be very clear here that this is why we want as broad of participation as possible. Because we are better the more people we have involved in something like this.
Yeah.
Our delight radars are enhanced by other people because you're going to notice something different than me.
Exactly. Every study in education says that kids do better whenever they're not just around kids that are very similar to themselves, right? Whenever we have a diverse experience, we all thrive. And so no matter your background, no matter where you are, we're inviting you, and this will be something that would be it's going to be a lot of fun no matter where you are.
And it's going to be cool. So, and we're going to invite people to record their delights in whatever way fits for them. I've got my handy dandy moleskin ready. And this is pocket size. It's the reporter size. I'm not going to be able to show it.
Classic.
Yep, just classic moleskin. It can go in my back pocket. It can go in my backpack. I'm going to carry it with me. The last time we did this, I carried my delight journal with me, and that's when we went to Cumberland Island, and Sophie and I had that encounter with the raccoon that took my medicine, wrote all about it. So anyway, you never know what's going to come up that you want to record and delight in and be moved by. And so 7:00, yeah, you've got these little handheld things. Now, Ross Gay had a rule that he did pen to paper. And that works for some people. And for others, it doesn't. So whatever works for you.
I like to take a picture of whatever it is.
We are
Like,
not going to be
visual.
judgmental
That's
in
right.
our way of chronicling our delights. We just want people to notice things.
Right.
And the gift that comes with noticing is what in 8 weeks we're going to look back on and say, wow, that changed me in some way.
Yeah.
And that's totally apart from, like religiosity, but is totally in line with what we're trying to do spiritually.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of religiosity, one of us each week in our homily series coming up of the Delightful Church, this is going to kind of play throughout. One of us is going to be talking about what is a delightful church, or a delightful church is, and this week it is, I just forgot the word.
Seeing the belovedness in one another.
Seeing the belovedness in one another. And the other will be preaching probably normally from the New Testament side of, or maybe a gospel side of the text, the lectionary text. And this week, Katie is kicking off the Delightful Church Project, which makes a lot of sense. And I'm preaching from Luke 3, verses 15 through 17 and 21 through 22.
Which is so weird.
It's funny. And so you always have to go and check out whenever the people who put together the lectionary, there's a reason why they left some things out. Some things are racist. Some things are they're trying to avoid something. With this one, it's kind of funny whenever you go look at what's in between. And what they left out was that John the Baptist was put in prison. But in Luke's story, he doesn't come out of prison. It's just like he's kind of gathered at the river at the river in Luke, and then all of a sudden it's like, and then Herodias. Anyway, it kind of goes along. And it says Herod put John the Baptist in prison, and then it's like. And then when Jesus came to get baptized, and there's no, like, John got out of prison, or there's no, like, story, like, it's just right in the middle.
I just want to delight in John's Bible nerdiness right now.
I just think it's hilarious. It's like, Luke is the best storyteller ever, right? Like, he's known for storytelling. And then it's like, we've got this random, like, yeah, he went to prison in the middle of this text where Jesus is going to be baptized. Like, one of the most important texts.
Somebody didn't proofread.
Yeah. Anyway, this is kind of funny to me. And the first part of it is this not John who they're looking for. They're looking for Jesus. And in this baptism story, this is the one where the Spirit of God comes down and says, in bodily form like a dove. In bodily form like a dove. Which is kind of interesting to me.
Three little birds.
Is it bodily form or is it like a dove?
Right.
And then we have this famous line, "You are my son, the beloved, with you I'm well pleased." And in other texts there are different beloved phrases there. This is my son, my beloved. In him I'm well pleased, or those kind of things. Anyway, so in Luke, it's "You are my son, the beloved, with you I'm well pleased," and I think that there's something of that belovedness in each of us, and I wonder what the three little birds are saying to you, right? I wonder what the Spirit is saying to you. What is your word of belovedness? Maybe that you need to hear. Or maybe that guides you. So.
Well, and maybe to bring this back to what we're seeking to do, what we're looking for, our delight radar, is really honed by understanding that there's belovedness in everyone. Yeah. That every single person is beloved. And our task is quite difficult and quite simple. It's to find that. It's to unearth that belovedness. And in that unearthing process, we will be delighted. We will be moved. We will find it beautiful. And see, that's the act of resistance, right? Because our society tells us that these people are good, these people are bad, or these people are right, these people are wrong. And the truth is that before Jesus does anything, before he preaches a sermon, before he baptizes anybody, before he does any miracles or anything, he is called beloved. And it is this original blessing that he continues to fall back on. He continues to unearth and discover what it means. And so that is our task, whether you're religious or not, coming on this journey of delight with us.
Yeah.
Our task is to find the beloved things, the things in our world that are beautiful, that move us, because in that is value. In the simple act of being beloved, or in being delightful, there is value.
Yeah. So I wasn't going to talk very much about that. I just pulled out those little bits of phrase.
You just wanted to nerd out for a minute about
pretty
the
much
story.
and then I'll preach on Sunday about it. But the main thing with this is the recognizing the delight, and recognizing also, maybe I'll take it back to original blessing. Like, there are two original blessings, right? So we have this original blessing in the New Testament, and then we have original blessing in the Old Testament, in which our scriptures both kind of start off with blessing in both contexts. So what else is blessed out there?
And yet that's not the narrative we hear.
No.
No. In Christian settings and in other settings, the narrative that we hear is not of blessing. It is of all kinds of other stuff, right? And so this is... They
even have the theological or the biblical fallacy of calling something original sin. Right? Like, no. What comes first? What's the original?
Yeah, the original is blessing, right?
Is original.
Yeah, anyway. So you see how this work can be work of resistance, right? Like, this work in noticing delights can be and is in and of itself work of resistance, work of subversion. And so in that way, it grounds us for this uncertain future that is to come, that we all know is going to be led with negativity and division and nastiness and hate and violence and all those things. But here we are laying the groundwork for this time for ourselves with nothing but delight.
There you go. Well, we've done a lot of talking. We need to do some toasting. Can you start us off with a toast tonight?
Yeah. Do you want to come toast with us?
No, sorry.
Yeah. Our little tiger friend. You don't have anything, but you can just bless you. Right into my shoulder. All right.
Don't over my foot.
All right. So I'm going to give a toast, and then you're going to give a toast, and then Dad's going to give a toast, okay? We talked about delight, okay? So go, friends, from here, wherever you are, to there, wherever you're going. And remember along the way to be moved by the things you experience and see and hear that are delightful.
You want me to help you? Yeah. Yeah, if you want to.
Okay, can I say sledding?
Yeah. Say, I find delight in sledding.
I find delight in sledding.
There you go. There you go. And, may you recognize, sorry, I just got thrown off. Yeah. And this whole delight thing, this belovedness thing, they go hand in hand. So may you, as you recognize your delights, may you also recognize your belovedness.
Cheers.
Cheers, friends.
Cheers, y'all.
Here's Joanne.
Julia, Chantel.
Jim. Bill Harding. Oh, man, we got a good group on here. Wear a helmet.
That came
That's
from.
funny. That's
Oh,
funny.
Lord. Well, go register for the Delightful Church. If you register on that
Please.
Facebook page, it will send you the Zoom link that we'll be using for the next little while. And stay tuned, because there's a lot more excitement to come.
Absolutely.